в отеле стоят Джонни. Вот так вот люди в белом. Здесь, да. Нас заселили, это мой рум, no mercy. 2 дня каждый в отдельной комнате, пока будут готовы тесты. Здесь я буду тренироваться. Душ, спальня, гардероб, ванна. Все на высшем уровне. Вот такой вот полигончик. Сладости пока нам нельзя. Но очень круто.
Yeah, and that's what's happening to John. And it's not just that he's getting older; it's that he's had a lot of fights. And there's also, you can also attribute that to when John was in his youth and just getting into the UFC. He was fighting a different kind of fighter to these young guys. The guys that you just mentioned, Tiago. These guys are young, modern fighters, equipped with more of a modern game. Equipped with more of a game that John had, 6, 7, 8 years ago, that he was fighting not the Forest Griffins, but these sort of older school guys with not the sort of modern game that these young guys have. It's the level of competition is much different now, and I think that's what John's finding out as well. Yeah.
You think that fight will happen? Israel versus John?
The way Israel's getting bigger and bigger, and the way he's eating nowadays, then it has a good chance of happening. I think Israel 2021, but I mean that was given that was before he could predict a global disaster. So he might be 2022 now, given that we've almost had an entire year off. I don't know. That's
championship fights in recent history. I don't think a lot of people gave him a shot in that. I think that in order for Holloway to defeat him, he's going to have to pressure Volkanovski. He's going to have to come forward way more than he did in that last fight, because countering him was not available. Why? Because Volkanovski was not giving Holloway the opportunity to counter. He was throwing shots from the outside and he was getting the hell out of there. Now, for Holloway to come forward, opens up a second layer of offense for Volkanovski, which comes in the form of the takedown. So now Holloway, who was probably really aware of that takedown and wasn't sure whether to come forward, in order for him to come forward, it's going to open up that second layer for Volkanovski. So I have Volkanovski as a favorite heading into this one yet again. I think Holloway, can he pull it off? Without a doubt. You never count out someone like Holloway with that kind of experience and that championship pedigree. However, I think Volkanovski, knowing what he knows now after 25 minutes, is going to open some things up.
He did a genius move in some degree, because some fighters, and I'm one of those fighters myself, I never listened to my corner. I didn't care what they said. I just did what I wanted to do. I was in control, what I needed to be in control of. So he doesn't need a corner, but he's very rare. Most people need a corner. He didn't, and because he knows what he wants to do and he knows what he can do. So therefore, he had no one else in his mind other than himself. So he pulled off a brilliant fight, man. He fought to his strengths, and he fought the way he wanted to fight. And he was comfortable. He was very comfortable. So for people that think that, oh, you can't do that like that. Well, yeah, some fighters can, but most fighters can't. Because I know I was one of those fighters that I did well with myself. I never recall listening to my corner. I would fight sometimes. Somebody in the fans would say, throw a right cross, blah blah blah, and I would do that. My corners would be saying the opposite. And I wouldn't do that at all. So it does help some people.
Just that.
Off to Fight Island.
All right, so up early again. Again, we're trying to adjust to a time zone we're comfortable with. So we're up at like 3:45. We're going to do that pretty much every day. Go to bed 7, wake up around 3:45 or something like that. Along them lines. Got Fox calling soon. A bit of the media starts today. Water loading starts today. Woke up to Masvidal being the replacement. We sort of knew that was going to happen, but obviously had to do testing and whatnot. And I'm guessing all that got approved, so that's cool. That's big. UFC 251 was already massive, and it just got even bigger. And so that's it's going to be good. Looking forward to put on a show. Make sure you tune in. July 12th in Australia. Let's go.